Okay, so we're about to unwrap a song you've probably heard a million times. It's a total holiday staple. But what if I told you that hidden inside that familiar melody are all these layers of history and meaning you've likely just sung right past? Let's get into it.
Yeah, that line right there. You know it. I mean, you've sung it, you've heard it in malls, maybe even hummed it while waiting for coffee. It's one of the most familiar sounds of Christmas.
But have you ever really stopped to think about what it all means? Like, what even is a Noel? Why shepherds? What's the deal with the star? Well, it turns out there's a surprisingly rich story packed into these simple verses, and we're going to decode it together.
All right, so first things first, let's just start with the story we all know, the one that's right there on the surface. The song basically gives us the highlight reel, right? You've got angels showing up to some shepherds, then bam, this giant star appears in the sky, wise men see it and start following it, they all end up in Bethlehem, and everyone's there to worship the new baby king. Simple, clear, and really powerful. Okay, but here's where it gets really fascinating. The story behind the song is just as cool as the story in it. See, this wasn't dreamed up by some famous composer in a grand cathedral. Nope, its beginnings are way more humble. Believe it or not, the first Noel started out as a folk hymn. For generations, it was just passed down orally, by people singing it to each other in the countryside of England and Cornwall. It was a true song of the people, sung in homes and communities long before anyone ever thought to write it down. And that keyword we keep singing, Noel, it actually comes from Old French, which got it from the Latin word natalis, which literally just means birth. So when we're singing the first Noel, we're actually singing the first announcement of the birth.
Pretty cool, huh?
So this song had a long journey. For centuries, it was just an unwritten folk tradition. The first written versions didn't even show up until the 1700s. But the real game changer was in the 1800s when it got published in hymnals. That's when it truly became the global classic we know today. So we've got a folk song with a simple story. But the reason it has endured for so long is the incredible depth packed into its lyrics. This is where we find its real power.
Let's go all the way back to that first line. We sing it without even thinking, but the choice of words here is, well, it's the key to the whole thing, because this first announcement, it wasn't for just anyone.
It wasn't for kings in their castles or for powerful emperors. The very first Noel, the first big announcement, was for certain poor shepherds. And the message there is profound. This world-changing event is revealed first to the most humble, the most ordinary people. The song does this brilliant thing where it contrasts two totally different groups. On one side, you have the shepherds, local, humble workers who get the news directly from angels. And on the other, you have the wise men. They're foreign dignitaries, scholars, guided by a huge cosmic sign. By bringing them both to the same place, the carol shows this event is for everyone, rich and poor, local and foreigner alike. Now let's look a little closer at what the wise men were following. The star is one of the most iconic images in the entire nativity story, and the carol puts it right at the center of the action.
This star is so much more than just a light in the sky. It's a powerful symbol. It represents divine guidance, like this giant sign visible to the whole world that something immense has just happened. It elevates this humble birth into an event of cosmic significance.
So when the wise men finally get there, they don't show up empty-handed. Their gifts are famous, and just like everything else in this carol, their meaning runs deep. The gifts themselves actually tell a story. They're not random, they're symbolic. Gold is a gift for a king, right? It acknowledges his royal status. Frankincense was an incense used by priests, so that signifies his divinity. And then there's myrrh, a resin used in embalming, which is a pretty sobering gift. It foreshadows his humanity and suffering. So you have kingship, divinity, and suffering all right there in three gifts. So when you put it all together, the folk origins, the simple story, the profound symbolism, you really start to see why this carol has such a powerful hold on us. Its endurance really comes from this perfect blend. The melody is simple and catchy. The storytelling is clear. Its humble origins feel really authentic. But right underneath that simplicity, you've got these massive themes: joy, revelation, and a message that's meant for all humanity. Ultimately, the first Noel is so much more than just a sweet song about a baby in a manger. It's a story about that incredible moment where the divine and the human meet, where the most important news in the world is delivered first to the people the world considered the least important. So the next time you hear those familiar notes, listen a little closer. How does knowing this whole story change the song for you? It's something to think about. Thanks for exploring this one with me.